All right, so you're going for a civil drafter position.
That sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
You think so?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's a field that's really, it's growing. It's stable.
It's kind of got it all right.
Yeah, definitely.
Like you get to be really detail-oriented, but you're also
Hmm.
bringing these like architectural visions to life,
Yeah,
turning dreams into reality.
that's a great way to put it.
And we've got all this awesome stuff from RoleCatcher career guides, interview guides to like help you nail that interview and stand out from everybody else.
That's the goal.
We're going to cover those common questions, give you some insider tips, and even show you how RoleCatcher's AI can like seriously give you an edge.
That's a game changer for sure.
So you ready to dive in?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay, so before we like jump into the interview questions, let's just like quickly paint a picture of what a civil drafter actually does.
Yeah, so essentially they're creating those visual blueprints that we all know, like for buildings, roads, even topographical maps.
And they're working with architects and engineers to translate those concepts into like precise, detailed drawings that guide the entire construction process.
So it's not just like artistic talent. You need to have a solid understanding of engineering principles and building codes, too.
Absolutely. You need to know those technical specifications. It's super multifaceted. You need creative vision and technical expertise.
That's a lot.
It is, but it's a rewarding job.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of technical expertise, let's get into some of those common interview questions.
Okay, sounds good.
And like we said before, we've got some great stuff from RoleCatcher to like guide us through this.
Yep, their guides are super helpful.
Okay, so first up, describe your experience with AutoCAD software.
Yeah, you're almost guaranteed to get that one.
Seems like that's like the industry standard, huh?
Absolutely. AutoCAD is essential.
So even if you're still learning, be prepared to showcase like what you know.
Definitely focus on what you do know, whether it's basic commands or specific projects that you've tackled, maybe even online tutorials you've followed.
Yeah. And honesty is key here.
For sure.
If you're a beginner, just highlight that you're eager to learn and talk about any related software experience you might have.
Right, and be ready for follow-up questions like, what steps are you taking to improve your AutoCAD skills?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it shows you're taking initiative.
So maybe mention any online courses, personal projects, industry events you've been to.
Yeah, those are all great examples.
Just show them that you're committed to professional development and you're actively trying to learn.
Exactly.
Okay, so here's a question that might seem a little surprising at first. What is your experience with land surveying?
It might seem a little out of left field, but remember, civil drafters often create those topographical maps we were talking about.
Right.
So having even a basic understanding of surveying principles shows that you get the bigger picture.
That makes sense. And I think interviewers, they're always looking for someone who understands how the role fits into the larger context of the project.
Yep.
So if you do have experience, definitely describe any projects you've worked on, the equipment you used, and how that knowledge has informed your drafting work.
For sure.
But if you don't have direct experience, don't worry.
Yeah, there are still ways to answer this.
So highlight any relevant coursework, express your interest in learning, and showcase those transferable skills like attention to detail and spatial reasoning.
Exactly.
And be ready for a potential follow-up. How do you see land surveying knowledge benefiting a civil drafter?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it gives you a chance to connect the dots and show off those critical thinking skills.
Definitely think about how surveying data relates to creating accurate site plans, grading plans, even utility layouts. It's all connected.
It all comes back around.
Yep.
Okay, ready for another one?
Get me.
This one goes straight to the heart of a civil drafter's work.
Yeah.
How do you ensure accuracy in your drafting work?
Oh, that's a big one. Precision is paramount in this field. Mistakes on those blueprints, they can be super costly.
Yeah, you don't want to mess that up.
No. So interviewers, they want to see that you take accuracy seriously.
So it's all about showcasing your commitment to quality and attention to detail.
For sure.
So describe your system for checking your work. Things like double-checking measurements, using software tools for verification, or even having a colleague review your drawings.
Yeah, and to really hit that point home, be prepared to share a specific example.
Oh, yeah, good story.
Yeah, maybe a potential follow-up question could be, can you give an example of a time you caught an error before it became a problem?
Nice.
Yeah, it shows you're proactive about avoiding those mistakes, which is a really valuable trait for any drafter.
Totally. Okay, so speaking of valuable traits, let's take a little detour and talk about how RoleCatcher's AI can be your secret weapon in this whole job search.
Oh, yeah, this is where technology can really give you an edge.
For sure.
So RoleCatcher's AI, it can analyze job descriptions, it can pinpoint those key skills and experience that they're looking for, and then tailor your resume and cover letter to perfectly match their requirements.
Whoa, so it's like having a personalized career coach.
Pretty much.
Awesome.
Yeah, it highlights your strengths and helps you present your qualifications in the most compelling way possible.
That's incredible.
And it doesn't stop there.
There's more.
RoleCatcher's AI can even analyze interview questions and give you feedback on your answers.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can practice your responses, identify areas for improvement, and avoid those common pitfalls that could cost you the job.
So it's like a mock interview with an expert who's dedicated to helping you succeed.
Exactly.
That's so cool. Okay, so before we jump back into those interview questions, let's quickly touch on the typical career path for a civil drafter.
Okay, sure.
And RoleCatcher's Career Guide gives a really great overview of what you can expect at each stage, from entry level to senior positions.
It's a great resource.
It highlights those different responsibilities, the skills, and the growth opportunities you'll encounter along the way. So like a clear roadmap for your career journey.
Definitely. And we'll weave those insights into our discussion of the interview questions so you can start connecting your skills and aspirations to those specific career stages.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah, it all ties together.
All right, so are you ready to jump back into those interview questions?
Let's do it.
Awesome. Okay, so another common one, especially for entry-level roles, is describe your experience with civil engineering design standards.
Ooh, that sounds pretty technical.
It is. It's all about those industry best practices and codes, things like the standards set by the American Society of Civil Engineers, or AC.
AC.
Yeah, and also the American Institute of Steel Construction, AISC, and the American Concrete Institute, ACI.
Okay.
Yeah, these are all like guidelines to make sure structures are safe and meet building codes.
So even if I haven't worked on huge projects yet, just having some knowledge of these standards is important.
Oh, absolutely. It shows you're dedicated to staying informed and that you understand the importance of adhering to industry regulations. So I can mention any coursework workshops or even like independent research I've done on these standards.
Got 'em.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, just show them you're proactive.
All right, next up. How do you manage your time and prioritize tasks? This feels like a classic in any job interview.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's a classic for a reason. Time management is crucial, especially in a fast-paced field like drafting, where you're often juggling multiple projects and deadlines.
Too many deadlines.
I know, right? So be ready to describe your system, whether it's using project management software to-do lists or some specific method you've developed.
So like, how do I stay organized?
Exactly, and I bet they'll be impressed if you can relate your answer back to the specific demands of a drafting role.
So like meeting deadlines, handling revisions, responding to those urgent requests from engineers or architects.
Exactly.
And of course, like maintaining accuracy.
All super important.
Okay, speaking of staying up to date, here's another one. How do you stay current with new drafting technologies and techniques?
Oh, this is a good one. Technology is always evolving, so you got to demonstrate that commitment to continuous learning.
So it's not just about knowing like the latest software version.
Right. It's about understanding industry trends, exploring new tools, constantly seeking ways to improve your skills.
So should I just like rattle off a list of every software update I've downloaded?
Not quite focus on those proactive efforts to stay ahead of the curve. Do you attend industry conferences, subscribe to trade publications, take online courses or webinars, participate in online forums or communities?
Yeah, show them that you're passionate about what you do.
Exactly.
That you're invested in your professional growth.
For sure.
Okay, so for those who are like aiming for more senior level roles, let's talk about a question that assesses leadership skills. Describe your experience managing drafting projects.
Yeah, at higher levels, you'll likely be leading teams, overseeing projects from start to finish, and mentoring junior drafters.
Okay.
So interviewers want to see if you have the experience and skills to handle those responsibilities. Yeah, so when you're answering this question, focus on your experience in planning, coordinating, and overseeing projects. Did you manage budgets? Delegate tasks effectively? Communicate clearly with clients and stakeholders? Resolve conflicts within the team?
It's like you're not just creating those detailed drawings, but you're leading and managing a team to actually execute a project.
Exactly.
Okay, and speaking of problem solving, be prepared for questions like, how do you approach problem solving in your drafting work? Or even more specifically, Describe a time you had to modify a design based on feedback from a client or engineer.
Oh yeah, those are common ones.
It feels like that would happen all the time in the real world.
It does. Clients change their minds, engineers spot potential issues, new information comes to light. You got to be adaptable.
Yeah, got to be resourceful.
Exactly. So this is where your critical thinking skills come into play. When you're answering these questions, share a specific example that shows your ability to, 1, identify and analyze the problem, 2, brainstorm potential solutions, 3, communicate effectively with stakeholders, and 4, implement the chosen solution while ensuring accuracy and you're adhering to standards.
Whoa, that's a lot.
It is, but it's all about showing that you can think on your feet, collaborate effectively, and find those elegant solutions when challenges come up.
Okay, so before we move on to the next set of questions, I just want to quickly remind our listeners about this awesome resource they have, RoleCatcher's AI.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's not just about tailoring your resume and practicing interview answers.
Right. RoleCatcher's AI can also help you analyze those tricky application questions that often pop up in online forms.
You know those open-ended ones that ask you to describe your strengths, weaknesses, or career goals in like a limited number of words?
Exactly. Those can be tough. But RoleCatcher's AI can analyze those questions, identify the keywords and skills they're looking for, and then guide you in crafting concise and impactful responses that really highlight your qualifications and align with the job's requirements.
It's like having a virtual writing assistant that helps you like present your best self in every step of the application process.
Yeah, it's a game changer.
So cool. Okay, so getting back to those interview questions, we've got a few more to cover to make sure you're fully prepared.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, so let's look at this one. Describe your experience working with contractors and engineers.
So this is where like collaboration skills come in, right?
Exactly. Construction projects involve so many different professionals.
Right.
Civil drafters have to coordinate all those efforts.
Yeah, it's a team effort for sure.
It's not just about creating drawings in isolation. You have to communicate with engineers, architects, contractors,
Everybody.
all the stakeholders.
Yeah, so how can I best showcase my collaboration skills when answering this question?
Think about specific projects where you worked closely with those other professionals.
Okay.
Describe how you communicated effectively, both verbally and in writing.
So, did I proactively seek clarification on design requirements? Did I effectively incorporate feedback and revisions?
Yeah. And did you resolve any conflicts or misunderstandings that came up?
It's all about showing that I'm a team player, right?
Exactly. Someone who can navigate those complex interpersonal dynamics and contribute to a positive and productive work environment.
Got it.
Okay, so here's one that often comes up, and it can be a bit tricky. What are your salary expectations?
Oh, yeah, this one's always tough.
Yeah, it's a balancing act.
Knowing your worth, but not pricing yourself out.
Exactly. The key is to do your research.
Okay.
Use resources like RoleCatcher's salary guide to get a sense of the typical salary range for civil drafters in your area.
Yeah, okay.
And with your level of experience.
Makes sense, so I shouldn't just throw out a random number.
No, definitely not. It's much better to provide a range based on your research and then express your willingness to be flexible, depending on the responsibilities and benefits of the role.
Right, okay. And it's always good to emphasize that you're more interested in finding the right fit and contributing to the team than just chasing the highest possible salary.
Absolutely. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit and talk about the different stages of your potential career journey. Remember, RoleCatcher's Career Guide provides a fantastic overview of what you can expect as you progress, from entry level to senior positions.
Right, it's like a roadmap for professional growth.
Exactly. Outlining the skills, responsibilities, and opportunities that are waiting for you at each step.
Awesome.
So let's start at the beginning, the entry-level civil drafter.
Okay.
At this stage, you'll be focused on building those foundational skills, working closely with senior drafters, and gradually taking on more responsibility.
So like an apprenticeship.
Yeah, pretty much. RoleCatcher even provides example profiles of what a typical drafter at each stage might say about their experience.
Oh, cool.
For an entry-level drafter, they emphasize things like being detail-oriented, proficient in CAD software, eager to learn, and a strong team player.
So your attitude and enthusiasm are just as important as your technical abilities.
Especially at the beginning of your career.
Okay, so then you move on to a junior drafter role.
Right, and there you'll start taking on more challenging tasks, developing those detailed drawings and sketches, and working more independently.
More freedom.
Exactly. You'll also have more interaction with engineers and architects, making sure your drawings accurately reflect their design intent and meet all the project specifications.
Oh, and you might even get to visit construction sites.
Yeah, and conduct surveys to gather real-world data.
That's awesome.
It's really valuable for creating those accurate and detailed drawings.
Okay, so then what? After junior drafter.
Then you move into an intermediate drafter role.
Okay.
And here you'll be tackling more complex projects, potentially even leading small teams of drafters.
So this is where those leadership skills come in.
Exactly. And your ability to manage multiple projects and meet those deadlines.
Always with the deadlines.
Right. You'll also be responsible for ensuring that the drawings comply with all the relevant building codes and industry standards.
So a deep understanding of those technical specs and regulations.
Yep.
Okay, and finally, you reach the top, the senior civil drafter.
That's right. At this stage, you're overseeing large-scale projects, leading teams of drafters, mentoring junior colleagues, and providing expert guidance to the entire project team.
Wow, so it's like you've become the expert.
Yeah, you could say that your expertise and leadership will be highly valued, and you'll play a crucial role in shaping the built environment around you.
That's amazing.
It is. And remember, throughout this whole journey, continuous learning is key.
Right, never stop learning.
The field of civil drafting is constantly evolving with new technologies and techniques emerging all the time.
Yeah, so stay curious. Explore new software and tools, attend industry events, connect with other professionals to stay ahead of the curve. And don't forget about those certifications.
Oh yeah, good point. RoleCatcher provides a helpful list of relevant certifications that can really boost your credibility and open up even more career opportunities.
Okay, so what does all of this mean for our listeners out there?
Well, it means you're exploring a career path with amazing potential for growth and impact.
And you've got valuable resources like RoleCatcher's AI and career guides to help you navigate that job search process and excel in those interviews.
And you have a roadmap for your professional journey, outlining the skills, responsibilities, and opportunities that await you at each stage of your career.
So as you embark on this exciting path, here's a thought to ponder. As technology keeps transforming the world of design and construction, how will the role of the civil drafter evolve?
What new skills and tools will be needed to thrive in this dynamic and ever-changing field?
Keep exploring, keep learning, and you'll be shaping the future of our built environment. One line, one blueprint, one structure at a time. Good luck out there.